So that's the general process so far. It's order it a couple of days prior to the 21st, somewhere around the 19th or 18th, whatever the weekday is. Nudge the contractor to make sure it's okay. On the 21st, when you get the file, open the file up, make sure the contents are in accordance with what you ordered. Check the configuration of these files. You should have 3 columns. You should have your date and time, either a DDMMYYY or MMDDYYY. Then the second column should be the update. Make sure that column has quotes around the text. Okay? This is important. Computers, again, stupid creatures. They do not know sometimes that they're dealing with text. To let them know it's text, put it inside double quotes. And then if there's a third column, it will be a URL. Make sure that once you've validated the file, that you save it as something else, which strips away all of the contractor information so that it's your information. Now, sit on it. You're good for now. 1 week before the end of the month, generally somewhere around the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, it varies. What you do is you send that file that you just validated to the client. Now remember, this is my internal document. It says use the approved BFM email account. My company is called Business Fusion Marketing. So BFM is our internal notation for that. But you would say whatever you want. You would use your own approved email account. Now the reason I say email approved is if you're working with a client and the client expects to receive email from bob@acmewidgets.com, don't send an email from bob@bobspersonalemail.com. It might make it to its target, but given the level of spam checking and filter checking and whitelisting and blacklisting and all manner of rubbish with email, don't jeopardize the delivery of your content by using an unapproved or an unfamiliar email address. That's what I mean when I say approved. See, do not send them from personal or other email accounts, as this will likely result in the email not getting to the target because they were not expecting it from another source. This is key to our process. This is how we keep the process going. If you haven't already heard me talking about this elsewhere in the lectures, I do not seek permission from a client to proceed. Okay? I do not seek permission to proceed. Once you have activated me, once you have got me working, I keep working. We keep creating, we keep billing, we keep publishing. We start, we run until you tell us to stop. We do not ask for permission. We do not sit around going, please, sir, can I have some more? We don't ask, okay? Because here's the reason why. Clients are busy. If you expect them to have to validate you so that you can continue, you're not making your client's life easier, you're making it harder. Don't do it, okay? So we send the files, and then number 5 says, assuming no changes from the client, proceed to the next step. So what that means is we send the files and we say to the client, here's all the updates that we're going to be publishing next month. Unless you tell me otherwise, we will proceed accordingly. Unless you tell me otherwise, we will proceed accordingly. Point of note, I've got clients now who've been paying me to do this for well over 2 years. And I don't actually think, no. I think the last time I spoke to them was 1.5 years ago. We exchange emails occasionally. Obviously, I send them emails every month. And periodically, they send me an email just to say, great job. Oh, here's our new credit card information, or here's our new billing information, or whatever. Keep up the good work. That's it. Seldom do I hear from them, and that's not unusual. So, proceed unless told otherwise, okay? It's important. Please do not mess with that. It'll really mess up your processing. Because now you're running around trying to get the yes from a client. Well, you know what? Maybe the client's away. Maybe the client is busy. Maybe the client, whatever. Don't do it, okay? Just don't do it. So on the last working day of the month, unless you've been told not to, unless the clients come back with changes, unless, all right? So on the last working day of the month, you upload the client content to the respective channels that you agreed. We use Hootsuite to do all this. Now, you can create your own Hootsuite account, and if the client gives you their login information, you can access their channels and you can do it that way. Or, and this is what we also do with some clients, they have their own Hootsuite account and they give us access, either one of their seat licenses, which they send you an access code, and it allows you to access and use their Hootsuite as if you are one of their staff. Or, and this is the simplest, they simply send you their email and their login, and you log in as if them, and you upload it. into batch content using that CSV file that we were talking about up here. And then you make sure that you pick all the right channels. So you do not upload a Twitter file and accidentally post it into Facebook. Okay, hence be careful. This is about the riskiest time. This is the thing you have to take some time over. So that's the thing you do. So, you know, if it's a 30-day month, you just upload it on the last day closest to the 30th, and so on and so forth. Now, number 7. On the first of the month, JCB, that's me by the way, James, my middle name's Chris Burchill. So James Burchill will charge the client credit card on file. Okay, this is how we do it internally. Now there's at least a couple of different ways. We now actually, a long time ago, we didn't manually process credit cards. We only used PayPal, which works really well. And what you do is you get the client to subscribe using PayPal. So they have a PayPal subscription, all right? You don't send them an invoice every month because that's a pain. You get them to sign up to a PayPal subscription. So PayPal automatically bills them every month. You don't have to lift a finger. It sends them a bill. It charges their credit card. If their credit card doesn't process, PayPal will try it again in 5 days' time. And if it doesn't process, then it will try it again in 5 days' time. It's like having an accounts receivables clerk on payroll without having to pay them, right? It works out perfectly because on the first of the month, PayPal subscription kicks in. You get your money. Brilliant. You do your thing. If it doesn't work, it has 2 more attempts, which is generally by the 10th of the month. If it hasn't gone through, then you don't do anything until you contact the client and get either updated information or, you know, you cancel their contract. But because we don't do anything until about the 2nd week, which is the 14th, we are at no risk. You follow? Now, just to make life a little more interesting, at some point later, what we did was we contacted PayPal and we actually activated something called a virtual terminal. And we pay $35 a month for that privilege. I don't know what it is. I think it's still $35 a month. It's end of 2014 right now. And PayPal charges us $35 and it allows us to manually process credit cards. So we do a mixture. We, on the first of the month, for those odd clients that haven't gone with a subscription, we actually manually run their credit cards. And so we get the money that way. And then the rest are picked up through subscription. And see, if any payment fails, me will notify you by the 14th of the next month to avoid wasted effort. So there's no risk. And then we go back to number 1 and we begin again. So there's about 2 weeks at the beginning of the month. On the first, we generally process payments. And then we sit and wait. And sometimes, you know, depending on how comfortable we are with the client, we might begin some of the work. But there's a reason why we pick the 14th, and it doesn't say it here in the process. But this is a pay-as-you-go sort of process. And if a client turns around and decides that they don't want to work with us anymore, they need to notify us and give us a 1 month's notice, okay? And because they have to give us 1 month's notice, and they have to notify me before the 15th of the month, are you seeing the importance of the dates now? If they don't notify me by the 15th of the month, then there's another full cycle, which means, again, no risk to me. I can pay the contractors. They get the job done. Nobody's unhappy, and we're all good. So that really is the month process. And as I say, I'll make sure this is included in the resource section for printout. All right. It's a very simple approach. I mean, I've done this now for I don't know how many years, and it's like you build them on the first of the month. If they haven't canceled by the 15th, all right, because remember, you're doing everything a month in advance. Then what you do is you order the content from the contractor 2 days prior to the contractor delivery, which is roughly by the 21st of the month. Okay, you give the contractor a nudge, make sure everything's on track. If the contractor's on track, you get the work generally by about the 3rd week, 21st, give or take a day or 2. Check all the files out, make sure the formats are correct, okay? Then you save as, and you keep the name the same or something, just do whatever it is you need to do, but save as. So that strips away all the contractor information. Then you sit on the file, because roughly if it's the 21st to the 22nd, you have about another a day or 2 to generally do whatever you need to do. About a week before the end of the month, so as you can see, it's usually a day or so after you've got it and checked it, send it to the client. If the client doesn't tell you that there's a problem, You just keep going. You do not wait for approval. This is what I mean by negative option approval process. This is, we publish unless you tell us to stop. And then you use Hootsuite, either in your own account or the client's account, and you upload the content into the right channel or channels. Some clients will ask you to create content, and they will want the same content across all of their channels, and you can do that for them. It's great. In fact, it's a really cool value add. You turn around and you say, well, Mr. or Mrs. Client, we'll create social media updates for Twitter for you. We'll do 2 a day every work day, so that's about 40 or 50 for the month. And the client says, well, could you put those in my LinkedIn profile, or could you put them on my Google Plus page, or could you put them on my Facebook page? And you can either turn around and say yes for a small fee and charge extra, or you could be a superhero and say, you know what, sure. Because here's the thing, it's just a checkbox on Hootsuite. It will go in exactly the same time, exactly the same date, but it will just go into a different channel. So you can be a hero and you can give clients a lot more coverage. So that's one of the things you can do with Hootsuite. And then on the first of the month, either your PayPal subscription kicks in and you get the money, or you run a credit card using something like Virtual Terminal. And as I say, back to number 1, take a week, sit and coast, count your money, go find new clients, whatever you want. By the way, that's why I said there's no great rush. If you sign up a new client before the 14th, you can get them in the cycle, right? If you sign them up after the 14th, then they're going to be in the following cycle. It's really not a big deal. There you go. So that is the monthly process and procedure in a nutshell. Got any questions? Let me know.